All right, I want to share with you today how to do the expanded notation method of multiplying a one-digit times two-digit number. Before we get to that, I want to review the lesson we did the other day with place value method of solving the same type of problem, a one-digit times two-digit. They're really, really similar, so that's why I want to start here. So if you look at this problem, we have 3 times 74. And we drew this little box to kind of help us out. I have the whole problem kind of completed, but it's 3 times, and actually what we did with this method is we broke it up by place value, or we could call it expanded notation. So we took 74 and we broke it up into the tens place, which is 70, and the ones place, which is 4. Then we took 3 times the 70, and that's in this box here, and you can see I solved that. 3 times 70 is 210. Then we multiply 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. We follow that over here to this side, and then we add the two sums together. That gives us this number of 222. That is our answer. Now let's look at the same problem, 3 times 74, but we're going to do the expanded notation model. We're not going to draw the box like we did before, but we are going to do a little bit of drawing of a couple lines here. And let me show you that first. So the way it's written like this isn't the way I always see or often see multiplication. Usually we see them kind of written this way with the larger number on top and the smaller one on the bottom if they don't have the same place value. So I've rewritten it. And I see 74 times 3. It's the exact same problem, just looks a little bit differently the way it's written. And this is the way I often see a multiplication problem. But to do the expanded notation, I'm actually going to take this line and I'm going to extend it a little ways. And I'm going to give a little bit of room here. And I'm going to do a second line underneath. So we do a little bit of a drawing here. Now here's where this comes in, or a similarity with the place value method. What we're doing here is we're taking 74 times 3, but if we're using the old method or that place value method, really we drew that box and we were multiplying 3 times 70 and 3 times 4. We're really doing the same thing, but we're going to do expanded notation. So I'm going to expand 74 here. 74 really equals 70 plus 4. That's the expanded notation. We've been doing that since the beginning of the year. 70 plus 4 is the same thing as 74, expanded notation. Well, I'm going to put another equal sign underneath. The 3, well, it's in the ones place. So I don't have to expand the notation. I just put a 3 down here. About halfway done with the problem now. That was pretty quick. 74 times 3 is the same as 70 plus 4 and 3, or times 3. Now we're going to multiply these same way we did the place value sections. I'm really going to multiply the 3 times the 70. So I'm going to write that in between these two lines that I drew here. So 3 times 70 equals. All right. And I got that from here, 3 times 70. The next I'm going to multiply is 3 times 4. I'm going to write that down below. 3 times 4 equals. I have two problems. It's the exact same as that place value problem that I did earlier. And I remember my answers. 3 times 7 is 21. And I can add the 0. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to line these up because this line is going to solve or work as our spot where we can just add these two sums together to get our answer. And it's going to turn into the exact same answer for the problem we did earlier. So 3 times 74 is 222, or 222. It's the exact same answer using the expanded notation and using the place value. Now, if you want to go ahead and turn to page 54 in our workbooks, we're going to look at the page that our math program takes us through, and we're going to kind of work that together. So grab your pencil and turn to page 54. All right, so hopefully you're looking at the same page that I am, and they're showing you here both the place value method and the expanded notation method. And this is the new method we're working on. So you can kind of see them side by side a little bit here. But I'm just going to focus on the expanded notation. So we're going to start here. You can see it's the multiplication problem, 27 times 5. You can see how they did it over here. But now I'm going to expand. 27 is really 20 plus 7. So you can grab your pencil and you can fill that in. And then the 5, I don't have to expand that because it's just in the ones place. I'm going to put the 5 here. You can see our math book put these little lines here, these curly cues, and what they're showing here is we're going to multiply the 5 times 20, and we're going to multiply the 5 times 7. And that's where this goes here. So 5 times 20, grab your pencil, 5 times 20, and then the other multiplication problem we have is this one here, 5 times 7. We can go ahead then and solve those two. 5 times 2, or 2 times 5 is 10. Add the other 0, we have 100. I want to make sure I line these up here with my ones column and my tens with this answer, but 5 times 7 is 35. I want to line those up. There we go. Now I can add the two together. You can go ahead and fill that in. I'll try going a little bit slower on the next example for you. The next example, we can read it here. It says, a farm stand sold 4 bushels of apples in one day. Each bushel of apple weighs 42 pounds. How many pounds of apples did the farm stand sell? So we talked about multiplication being in groups, where we have 4 bushels of apples a day. Each bushel is 42 pounds. So 4 groups of 42 pounds, that's a multiplication problem. I'm going to move my screen here for you. And we can see they have the place value method right here for us, so we can kind of see that. But again, today we're working on the expanded notation. I can zoom in maybe just a little bit more for you. So we have 4 times 42 is our problem. I'm going to rewrite the problem the way we often see multiplication problems written, with 42 on top and the 4. 42 times 4 again is our problem. Then I'm going to use expanded notation for the 42. Well, 42, maybe you already filled it in before me. If I use the expanded notation, it's 40 plus 2. We have our tens place and our ones place. Well, 4 is just in the ones place, so I can put this here. Do you remember what to do next? We have it expanded just like we see over here in the place value. Now we're doing 4 times 40 and 4 times 2. I'm going to put those two multiplication problems down here. So 40 times 4 and 4 times 2. Then I can solve those two multiplication problems. Maybe you're already working through those. 4 times 4 is 16, and I can add that extra 0. 4 times 2 is 8. I want to make sure I line that up here so I can just add these two sums together. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 0, 1. Just bring that down. 168. So that's how we do the expanded notation model. Probably not more work than the place value model because we don't have to draw that large rectangle, but we are maybe writing a few more numbers here. If you'd like, I'll do one more example. You can maybe get started on it and see if you can do it maybe before I finish the example. Okay, if you have a piece of scrap paper, you can go ahead and work this one with me. It's 36 times 5. The first thing I do to set up the expanded notation method is I do those two kind of long lines. I give myself a little bit of room to kind of work those problems. Above this first line, I rewrite the multiplication problem. I'm going to put the 36 on top. So it's really 36 times 5. Then do you remember what to do next? We're going to expand the 36 into the tens place and ones place. So maybe you already wrote this. It's 30 plus 6. 36 is the same as 30 plus 6. And then the 5, we don't need to expand it. It's just in the ones column. So I'm going to put it underneath the ones column here. Then we're ready to do the multiplication. Because it's 2-digit times 1-digit, we're going to do 2 multiplication problems here. And maybe you've already gotten started on that. I'll do little arrows like they did in our math book. We're going to do 5 times 30, and we're going to do 5 times 6. Those go between these two lines. So the first one is 5 times 30 equals, and then the other one is 5 times 6. Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply those two. Did you do that the same way? Did you line up the ones and the tens? We add those two sums together to get our product or our answer to 36 times 5. There we go. Not too bad. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit more confident about using the expanded notation method to multiply.